Lewis Hamilton's name has become almost synonymous with Formula One. For nearly 2 decades, he has been more than a driver. He has been a symbol of dominance, resilience, and cultural impact. But as the sport marches toward the conclusion of its current technical cycle in 2026, whispers are growing louder that Hamilton's time in Formula may first be drawing to a close. The speculation surrounding a potential retirement at the end of 2026 is not just about a driver leaving. It is about the end of an era that redefined what greatness means in motorsport. And with every race, every podium, and every missed opportunity, the question of Hamilton's farewell looms larger in the paddock and beyond. At 41 years old by the end of the 2026 season, Hamilton would stand as one of the oldest drivers still competing at the highest level. His longevity is already extraordinary. The physical demands of modern Formula One cars are punishing, requiring incredible strength, endurance, and focus. 4 years, Hamilton has defied the limits of age, maintaining an unmatched commitment to fitness and mental sharpness. Yet, the challenge of staying at the very top of such a brutal sport inevitably takes its toll. As younger drivers like Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, and even rising stars like Gabriel Bortolito step forward as the new faces of Formula One, Hamilton increasingly represents the old guard, fighting to keep pace in a sport that reinvents itself with each regulation change. The timing of a possible exit in 2026 is not accidental. That year marks the end of the current Concord Agreement cycle and also the beginning of a brand new technical regulation era. With Formula One introducing new chassis concepts, sustainable fuels, and further emphasis on hybrid systems, it will be another turning point in the sport's trajectory. For Hamilton, who has lived through multiple technical eras already, the prospect of once again adapting to a fundamentally different car philosophy might not be appealing. He has spoken often about wanting to contribute to the future of Formula One beyond just driving, advocating for sustainability, diversity, and broader accessibility. In that light, stepping away as the current era closes would be a symbolic full stop to a historic career. But there is more than symbolism at play. Since his dramatic move to Ferrari in 2025, Hamilton has carried with him both the hope of delivering glory back to Maranello and the pressure of reviving a team that has struggled for consistency. The dream of becoming the man to restore Ferrari to championship-winning heights is powerful. It mirrors the romantic image of Schumacher's dominance, and for Hamilton, it represents a narrative arc almost too perfect to ignore. If, by 2026, Ferrari has not given him the tools to fight consistently for wins, the disappointment may solidify his decision to leave. He has never hidden his desire to compete for the top, and spending his final years fighting only for scraps of points or the occasional podium may not satisfy a competitor of his caliber. Conversely, if Ferrari does manage to build a car capable of challenging Red Bull and Mercedes, Hamilton may find the closure he seeks. One last fight for the crown before bowing out at the top. There is also the personal dimension. For nearly 2 decades, Hamilton has lived under the relentless spotlight of Formula One. The travel, the media obligations, the endless scrutiny, all of it exacts a heavy toll. In recent years, Hamilton has become increasingly vocal about mental health, about balance, and about the need for drivers to be more than just athletes confined to the circuit. He has already built a portfolio of passions beyond racing, from his commitment to environmental causes to his involvement in fashion, music, and activism. Retirement would not mean disappearing, it would mean shifting focus. Hamilton is one of the few drivers in history who could walk away from Formula One and still remain a cultural icon whose influence reverberates across industries. The paddock is aware of the possibility, and whispers of succession already stir. If Hamilton does step aside after 2026, it will trigger one of the most dramatic shifts in the driver market in years. Ferrari would suddenly face the task of replacing a legend, balancing the need for continuity with the appeal of investing in younger talent. Charles Leclerc, long seen as the cornerstone of Ferrari's future, could inherit full leadership of the team, but questions remain about whether the Scuderia would bring in another superstar to fill Hamilton's shoes or take a gamble on a rising name. Drivers like Carlos Sainz, who has moved on, or younger prospects from Ferrari's academy might find themselves in the spotlight. Meanwhile, the rest of the grid would also feel the ripple effects, as a seat vacated by Hamilton would not just be any seat, it would be Ferrari, one of the most prestigious names in the sport. For Formula One as a whole, Hamilton's retirement would mark the end of an era of dominance and redefine the sport's hierarchy of heroes. The Hamilton-Verstappen rivalry, one of the defining storylines of the past decade, would effectively conclude, leaving Verstappen to carve out his own dynasty without the shadow of Hamilton beside him. The global fanbase, which Hamilton helped expand and diversify, would also face a transition. Few drivers have managed to attract audiences beyond traditional motorsport circles the way Hamilton has. His departure would challenge Formula One to retain that broader cultural relevance and force other drivers to step into roles that go beyond racing. Yet, the inevitability of retirement does not mean resignation. Hamilton himself continues to speak with passion about his love for the sport and the thrill of competition. He often insists that he will continue as long as he feels capable of delivering at the highest level. The question then is not whether he still has the ability. His racecraft, instinct, and determination remain world-class, but whether he still has the desire to endure the sacrifices required. By 2026, the calculation may simply shift. It might not be a matter of ability, but of will. After 20 years, countless wins, records, and 7 world championships, what more would he have left to prove? If Hamilton does decide that 2026 is the moment to step away, the farewell tour will be unlike anything Formula One has seen in recent memory. Each Grand Prix would become a celebration of his legacy, a chance for fans around the world to say goodbye to a driver who has not only broken records but also changed the sport's culture. The emotional weight of his final races would rival the retirements of legends like Ayrton Senna, Michael Schumacher, and Alain Prost, each moment magnified by the recognition that the grid will never quite be the same again. For the younger generation of drivers, it would be a reminder of the impermanence of even the greatest careers and a call to step up and carry the sport forward. Still, it is worth remembering that Hamilton thrives on proving people wrong. Retirement rumors have surrounded him for years, and he has consistently defied them by continuing to compete at the highest level. It is entirely possible that, come 2026, he will feel reinvigorated, especially if Ferrari delivers a competitive car. The narrative of leaving on a high note, perhaps with an 8th world championship in his pocket, remains an intoxicating possibility. For now, though, the uncertainty fuels the conversation. Every interview, every offhand remark, every gesture is analyzed for signs of his intentions. The suspense is part of the story. In the end, the prospect of Hamilton leaving Formula One at the conclusion of 2026 is more than speculation about a single driver. It is a meditation on legacy, on how eras end, and on how the sport reinvents itself. Whether he steps away quietly or in a blaze of glory, his departure will represent a generational shift. The grid will feel emptier, the sport will feel different, and the challenge of filling the void will fall not just on Ferrari but on Formula One as a whole. Because when Lewis Hamilton finally takes off his helmet for the last time, the sport will not just lose a champion. It will lose a symbol of what it means to chase perfection, to fight against odds, and to inspire millions far beyond the racetrack.